This is Shane, Hurricane Helms, inviting you to watch Rasslin Rage. That's Rasslin, Rasslin, Rage. And if not, what's up with that?
Oh!
It's going down!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Do it now!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Scream it out loud!
This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
It's going down!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Do it now!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Scream it out loud!
This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Hey, what's crack-a-lackin', everybody out there? It is Cody, 1/3 of the Rasslin Rage MIW hosts. You know me, I'm the guy that does all the interviews over here. Don't pardon the screen for a moment, but there we go. All right. So, hello, everybody. Welcome. Don't forget to go down in the description, like Rasslin Rage and all of our stuff on social media and everywhere. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. Find Podbean down there. Listen, because this interview is going to be available on Podbean and anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And I mean literally anywhere. Also, the man joining me tonight is Tony Garrix. Down in the description, you will find links to his Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you click those links. Go over there, like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you got to do in any of those certain realms of social media, please. And hello to you, Mr. Tony Garrix. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Sir.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So, how are you doing, first of all?
I am all right. I'm a little sore. I had a rather long weekend. We're about halfway through this Clark Kent week, but I'm doing all right.
Nice. Well, that's good. You are a professional wrestler.
I'm a professional wrestler. I'm a professional drunk. I own a Chihuahua.
Okay. So you fit all of the above categories. Tell me exactly how you came about to be a professional wrestler. Were you a big professional wrestling fan as a young captain?
So what's funny is like a lot of people have a lot of stories about like I watched WCW brother and like stuff of that nature, and like that really wasn't it for me. My mom's a single mom and no siblings and all that stuff, and like I would spend a lot of time at grandma's house. So one night at grandma's house, I'm doing as everyone did. They laid a blanket or something in front of the door and kind of turned the TV on the volume 2, and I was flipping around and I found wrestling and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I kind of grew up and I was talking to my mom about it, and I learned my mom was a big wrestling fan growing up, so her and I kind of like bonded over that, and she took me to some live events and stuff, and then I kind of stumbled upon backyard wrestling and independent wrestling, and my hormones are raging and I wasn't sure what it was, and kind of as most everybody does, I dicked around and had some fun, and then found the proper channels to go. And fast forward, was it 8 or 10 years, and here we are in my apartment chit-chatting about wrestling. So.
Okay. So obviously you took a journey in and you were interested early on. Did you have like somebody you followed as a professional wrestling fan when you were younger?
Not really. Like I mean, there was never really like one wrestler that I was just like hung up on. Like it was a lot of just like, this is really cool. I guess stereotypically I kind of cling to like a lot of the bigger, and not bigger as in like name, but like statured people, because growing up I was always just like the fat kid.
Right.
So and then I hit my growth spurt and I was the tall fat kid. So like kind of just like, oh shit, like Big Show, Kane, Taker, Rikishi, Vader, like I clung to them, and I hopped on YouTube and I watched just a lot of like large guys, which like now is just a very interesting kink subcategory on YouTube for some people, which I'm a part of that I found. But like it's a thing, man. If you dig deep enough, you'll find these things of just like fat wrestler corner splash combination, like a compilation, but it's just like big dudes hitting corner splashes. But yeah, I'm in one of those. But yeah, no, it was just sticking to like the larger people. So like I had some weird relation of like, wow, I'm not the only like freak per se. And I mean, being, a teenager full of just like anger and like hormones, it was something that I could like cling on to and have some sort of like relation point with.
Interesting. Now, when you started training, and you said you had a, I guess you not a relationship with, but you clung to some of the bigger folks in the business. Was that the style that you were going for? Because everybody knows when you're a bigger dude, there's a certain way you got to do things.
Yeah, I did that for a very long time. Like I came into the business the wrong way, and I got trained by people who don't know the difference between like a wrist lock and a fucking air fryer. And I got in the wrong way, and I had a big ass head on my shoulders for a while, and I couldn't figure out like why does everybody hate me? But I was young and stupid, and I had like a pill issue, and I did things the wrong way. But when it comes to like what mold did I fit per se, like I definitely went into the mold of just like I big, like me strong, like the stereotypical thing. And it wasn't until a number of years in when like some people who had a much better brain for it helped like remold me and mentor me and like kind of show me like, hey man, just because you're this tall heavy dude doesn't mean you have to be this tall heavy dude. Like you can do different shit if it makes sense, with still keeping some of like psychology in play, but also not just like looking like every other cookie cutter fat guy who has some spandex.
Wow. That's some, that's real in-depth shit. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, you are, you're doing your thing, you're getting bookings, you're going out, you're doing a lot of things. And like now I know here coming up very soon, you're going to be in Deathmatch tournament for Horror Slam. Am I correct?
No, that is not something I'm going to be a part of. To my knowledge, it's something I've expressed interest in. What I saw publicly is that, I had made some comments stating I wanted to do more deathmatch tournaments because I'm relatively like newer to the deathmatch thing, and it just sounds something like that it would be I'd have a lot of fun doing. The Horror Slam deathmatch tournament, to my knowledge, it's fully booked up. They're going to put on a really, really great show. I know there's a possibility for the future, but that's always a thing in wrestling. There might be something in the future. But currently, no, I am not in any tournaments going on.
Oh, I see. Now, I thought you were in it, and because I go through social media so damn fast, and I just was like, oh, okay, cool. And I just assumed.
I mean, one thing I'll say for like anybody listening, like if I share a fuck ton of shows, and like that's something that like I hate is like so many people who do this are so concerned about themselves and not like lifting wrestling as a whole.
Right.
And like I share shows that I've either been on or I'm going to be on or I am on, or I don't even know the booker's name, but I'm going to share it because maybe I have a fan in Arkansas who's watched me on YouTube, and I'll share it and they follow me on social media and they'll go, oh shit, like I didn't know that show was there. And like if you help wrestling grow in general, you'll help yourself grow. So like I share so much stuff. But yeah, I mean, for clarification, like if I am on a show, I'll be like, hey, come see me at X, Y, and Z.
Right. Absolutely. Now I know that you've been challenging with your buddies, Hoss Fight there. You've been challenging for some trios titles over at Pro Wrestling All-Stars here. You've had guys had a couple matches over there. I was there for one of them at the, I believe it was the 15th anniversary or one of the shows. I can't remember. No, it was the, hold on a minute. Give me a second. It was not the last one, but the one before. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
There's so many. Pro Wrestling All Stars runs like 1,400 shows a year. So like I can't.
That is a true
I
story.
Can't even like. Which like more power to them, man. Like they draw and their draw's been getting better, and it's like keep essentially keep your drink full. So like, awesome. I'm happy to be on all of them, but like I can't. I could go through an album of like which one have I been on, and I've only been back in wrestling for just under a year since my time off. So I have no idea. There's a lot of them.
Well, you also are with F5 doing some things there as well. And you just recently had a match in the first ever FU F5 together event, which FU is always, they put on one event previously. It was a great time. I was there. I was unfortunate not able to make it to FU2, but with F5. But how'd you enjoy the experience with the F5 and FU?
It was fun. It was a lot of Fs. It was a good time. Like it's so I've worked for FU and I've worked for F5, and it's like I guess we'll do the double FU5, whatever that is, and like it was a fun time because I like both companies and I have a fun time with both of them. So it was kind of cool to get this weird like little hybrid in which they had put on. I had a good time. I got to beat the shit out of both Old School and Anderson. We got to have a beer break. A lot of people were confused, and it's like, look, man, if you're an alcoholic, like, I got to figure out where I'm going to put this in. We're halfway through, and I needed a refresher. Also, I was sick of getting punched in the damn mouth, man. Like, you have a beer, I'm gonna have a beer, and then I got punched in the mouth with beer in my mouth. But no, it was a lot of fun, man. And I like, if you didn't make the last one or whichever it is, there is a next one March 4th.
Yeah, we're gonna be going there. I'm a sponsor. I'm a sponsor.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a sponsor.
Well, thank you for the envelope, brother.
Happy Harper ice cream is also a sponsor, so there's that.
I need to buy some Happy Harper ice cream.
Yeah, he's a sponsor as well. So I don't think he sponsored the last one, but him and I sponsored together on the first one. We were going to sponsor the second one, but I don't know what happened there. And then the third one he's sponsoring and I'm sponsoring. So. And then
so you guys were at the first one. I was trying to figure. I remember that because I was trying to figure out someone to give my cigar to. I've never seen you guys.
Yeah. I was plastered by the end of that show. I think somebody had to carry me out. I'm not exactly sure. Our car was still intact. That was good. And then
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just I really had a great time at that event. I really did.
It was such that first one was so much fun. Like the venue was so interesting, and like especially in the world of like everyone usually it's a 50-50 tear. You either fucking hate outdoor shows or you love them. There's no like in between. But that one was so cool, like the whole like string lights in the air and like all that stuff. It was a lot. It was different. That's the shit I'm hungry for now, is like different shit. So like doing something like really different and kind of oddball-y, and it wasn't your normal like show. That show in a whole was a blast.
It absolutely was. I agree with that one. And everybody was just having a good time, and I think that was the best part of it. Though it was for us, but it was also for you. You know what I mean?
Like you can yeah, definitely, dude. Like the show is so much more different when like you can tell the guys or girls who were on that show are having a good time and want to be on it, and it doesn't look like they have this like, well, I'm here, which like I feel is a lot in wrestling. It's like there's a lot of people who are like, well, I took the booking. No, man, fuck that. Have fun with your booking. They make it yours.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen throughout wrestling that I guess, I don't know, man. Like everybody has an opinion on everything, right? So I mean, there's some things that we all see that we don't like, but I mean, there's certain things like recently I've seen, and it kind of irritates me, and it's like, being who I am, I don't want to say too much because I don't want people, because I'm not a trained wrestler, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I say too much, motherfuckers are going to hate me, so I just don't say shit.
Hate's everywhere in wrestling, man. Like you could even say the right things and you're going to be hated.
Well, that is a true story. I know that.
And it's like, behind the smoke and mirrors, like there's so many really great young talents around right now. And it's like, I ain't nobody. By saying young talent, I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm someone. But like, I've been around for a little while. So like anytime I see someone make like a mistake I made coming up, and I made a shit ton of them, I'm just usually just like, hey man, like you might want to go about this a different way. And it's either received really well or they tell me to fuck myself. And I'm just like, all right, get yelled at then. Have a bad time. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in wrestling. I'm very happy for where wrestling is right now, but there's always room for growth. I feel like no matter what job you're in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm not privy to all the things, and I don't want to be, because I like that. I want to be on the other side of the curtain because I want to enjoy myself. I want to have the pure raw emotions when I'm watching wrestling, because otherwise, why would I keep going? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's
100%.
It's just that's the thing, and sometimes certain things ruin it for people. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, you guys got to just stop.
I'm a very big preacher of like when it comes, without diving into anything, like when it comes to personal lives and drama,
right?
I'm a very big preacher of like, brother, like have a work page and have a personal page. Like don't, like hybrids will make stuff messy. Like, you know, you could post something that you think's funny, but someone could think it's not. And then like when you see them, it's awkward. Or like if you're going through something in life and you post about it, someone might not support it. So it's like, I personally try to keep those things as separate as possible.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, outside of wrestling, me is like, I live in a suburb. I have this little dog and some cats. Like I collect dead shit. Me and my girlfriend like are into that stuff. And it's like in wrestling, I'm a drunk sailor. Like it's keep the stuff like split. And even if you divulge 90% of your body into that wrestling thing, man, keep a little bit of room for you. Like have that little bit area there so you can help keep it alive for people, whether they're 5 or 50. Like,
yeah, that's some great advice. I like that. That is really good shit right there. I really wish that I would have got that a long time ago. Don't take that the wrong way, but you know what I'm saying. I learned, but you know what? It's one of those things. Like, so I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm a 2nd degree black belt in Tung Soo Do.
Okay.
All right, so weaponized Alex Weir, his family trained me in martial arts, and small world, yes. However, in my art, our belts are not actually black; they're midnight blue, and the reason for that is because it represents the midnight sky. It's infinite; it never stops; it continues all the time, just like your training, right? Well, just like learning, I believe that you should always be learning, and it doesn't matter how long you've been into anything, you always should be learning, because the minute you become complacent is the minute you're going to get your ass kicked, or, something's going to railroad you of some sort, right? So, I mean, in the instance of pro wrestling, do you find yourself always learning and having to open your mind to new things?
I want to openly say 99% of the time. And a lot of that has to do, like, the day I stop learning is the day I should stop wrestling, because at that point it means my head's so far up my ass that I think that my shit doesn't stink. And it's always this evolving thing to where you can do better and you can learn more and you can tighten up on this or that. That 1% though is there's some shows where, like, no matter who you are, you'll develop this like big fish in small pond syndrome, and that learning cap is stopped, and it's perfectly fine to go there. But if you want to continue your growth, that's something inside of yourself that you have to reach out for and better yourself with, whether, and that doesn't mean like you have to be booked. Like, show up and help out, keep in touch, ask people that you've built relationships with to critique your shit, and like actually receive their feedback, and don't just ask them to ask them because you want to know what you can do better. And like, I find myself now doing that when I really should have been doing it a long time ago, and like I kick myself in the rear end for it, but I want to get better. Even if I wrestle my last match, in a week or two, at least I can say like, man, that year I gained this much just knowledge. And not like, like I did this, like, no, I got better at this.
Yeah, sure. Because do you think that getting better is more of a reward than, just doing it all the time?
It's a weird 50-50, because it's if you're doing it all the time, you're doing something you love and you're having this consistent like performance high from it. But it's almost in the same sense of like, think of like a painter or a musician or something. And it's like, if you're putting out the same top 500 product consistently. It's like, oh, cool, man, you're part of the top 500. But like, don't you ultimately want to be in that top 20?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can you do to make your product better? And like, the only way you're going to get there is if you ask for criticism or you ask for critiques and you take that and you run with it and not just take it and let it go out your other ear.
Right.
So like, I guess I rather have less bookings with better feedback and like raise my bar per se and like get better than to have this consistent amount of mediocre stuff when I could have this higher amount of better performance and education.
I like that. That is some great stuff. This is a great conversation, ladies and gentlemen. You're definitely going to want to follow this guy because it sounds like he's very, very smart. I know this is your first time on Rasslin Rage. You know, we've spoken briefly at a couple different shows. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I know at FU I was fucking smashed, so I barely remember a lot that happened after the show was over. I just remember being fucked up.
I would say not a lot for me happened. There was some personal stuff that happened with one of the people in my car, and I was told after we ordered beers, they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, we need to leave right now." And I was like, "Hey, man, I just ordered us beers." He goes, "We can leave or I can take your car keys. Like, we're leaving now." And I was just like, "Oh shit, all right, like let's dip." Like, so I split out of there pretty quickly.
Oh damn! Well, yeah, I was trashed. And
I can hear you. I'm just gonna grab another beer. Just
okay.
Keep on going. We got
so
this.
Good. But yeah, good stuff. Now I'm learning that man, oh man, he's got a good head on his shoulders, obviously, and we're having a good conversation. And I want you guys to make sure that you follow him because you know I'm sure I've seen a lot of your posts. You know, lately so I did find out I am not the most banned man in Michigan when it comes to social media. That goes to the Shaman. The Shaman has been like kicked off of Facebook, can no longer even use Facebook. So, but I don't want to get to that level because that's not a good idea, especially when you're trying to promote things, right?
Right. You need to have that presence.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we all we heard about how you got there and the things you're doing and in the how what would I say it the evolution that you're going through.
Yeah.
What are things that you're looking to do going forward?
I think like the sappiest way I could answer that, and like I'm definitely someone who's very transparent, is like when I got into wrestling, like I said, I did it the wrong way, and I want to do stuff that 11, 12, 15, 16-year-old me could be proud of. A couple of years ago, my health went down like a very, very bad spiral with some of the substance abuse issues I had. And I know like y'all watching are like, he's drinking. Like that wasn't my crutch. My crutch was food and painkillers. And that affected my health in such a dramatic way that like I ended up having to do something to fix it. And unfortunately, that affected my work quality, that affected my relationships, my business relationships, my friendships. And like this wrestling shit, it's so cool because like I get another chance and I'm so thankful that some of the places I get the opportunity to work now, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to prior due to the piece of shit I was. And I want to show people that I'm capable of the things that I said I was and say I am, but actually have that opportunity to like physically show it. I have some stuff I'm kind of in. I don't want to say everyone's always the works. I have some stuff that I'm optimistic for. And a lot of my career was built off tag team wrestling. And like I love old school Rick to death. I've known him a decade. But it's I want to show that I can also do the single stuff. I can do the deathmatch stuff. I can do that. I'm not just, you know, SVR09 creator wrestler. I'm not a tag team specialist. And I love tag team wrestling. But I want to show that I am well versed and that I do deserve to be on certain shows that I was told in my past that I wasn't supposed to be on them.
Not a bad. I like that, man. That was great. That was like the
Thank you.
best answer so far of the history of Rasslin Rage when it comes to that question. Holy shit! Write that shit down.
I think that has a lot to do with like a lot of people are afraid to look fragile, and it's like I'm very open. Like if anybody ever wants to have a conversation with me at a show, like the only time I'll be like later is if I'm like about to go out. But like other than that, like I'll sit there and I will bullshit with you. I am an attention whore who doesn't shut up. And like I'll sit there and talk with you and I'll listen and then I'll continue to talk. Like I have no idea how my partner deals with me. I was telling her that earlier today. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you put up with my ass. Like
now you are, like we said, you're a professional wrestler. You did all these things, and you're going on, and you're going to meet some goals and things like that. Mm-hmm. Is there something that people out there don't know about you? Besides collecting dead shit.
I mean, I'm pretty open about owning this little dude. I mean, he's literally one of my 8x10s. Like there's a picture of him and I like prom posing on my table. I don't know, man. Like I've stayed very open about a lot of stuff. I'm doing another podcast next week about substance abuse to kind of dive in a little deeper to the addiction problems I had and I got through. They had asked me like, actually I'm doing 2 over the next couple weeks. They'd asked me like, are you open to talking about it? And I'm like, dude, if it can touch one person who might have that problem, absolutely. I have no issues.
Yeah, I've had some substance abuse problems in my own time too. So I feel you on that, my friend.
Yeah, life, dude, I don't know. I'm so calm yourself. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
You're okay, little fella. Jeez. He thinks he's tough. Like you weigh 4 pounds, brother. Like
yeah, my parents had 2 of them. They're little tough dogs.
Yeah, man. They're little hard asses. I don't know. I'm truly a nice person. Like that's me. I'm very open to learning and criticism. Yeah, I don't know. I've been so open for like since the question I get the most, for instance. I'm trying to find a solid answer as I stumble through my brain for this question. But the question I get the most is like, holy shit, I didn't know you used to be Fat Tony. How did you lose all the weight? And I like because for those who don't know, I used to weigh about 500 pounds. Like I was a big dude. And a lot of people I know who had the surgery I had, like I had bariatric surgery, will just be like, oh, just diet and brother, like I lost it over time, like, which is an honest answer, but it's like I'm very open about that. If you have thought about it or you have questions about it, like I answer them. Please know I'm not gonna fucking blow smoke up your ass. Like if you're 207 pounds and you ask me should I get it, I'm gonna tell you no, you should get a treadmill and a little bit of like diet restriction. That was 500 pounds. Like I could have moonlight at SeaWorld. Like I was huge. Mm-hmm. Like that was I'm going to die if I don't make a decision. Yours is you need to have a little more control over what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you want something enough, you can change it. But I've been very open. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like that's the best answer I can give to that question.
That's a great answer because I think we found out a lot more there with that than well, if you had something, because at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is you're pretty much an open book, and your story is a story that other people can use on a couple different fronts. One with the surgery and the weight loss, and the other with the substance abuses. And it takes one kind of person to recover from those things, right? But it takes another type of person not only to do that, but also help people to get to a good place, right? Because that's a lot. It can do, you can. Somebody can lay a lot on you. You know what I mean? And it can, if you're not the right kind of mindset, it can do a lot to you. So kudos to you, my friend.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm all about just sharing. Like, I mean, you had Solo on, and I dropped something in the comments before I left the video. I don't know if you got around to it, but I had made a joke about like how you like that coffee, because that's a joke I'll make when I see Solo now, because him and I, like, I'm not going to get into detail, but him and I had a conversation about stuff around supplements and things of that nature. And really big thing that I have to do now is I'm on like so many vitamins and supplements and blah, blah, blah to maintain health. And I was like, we were talking about protein, and I'm like, hey, have you heard of, this brand? They make like a cafe mocha protein, like, so it tastes like coffee, but it has 20 grams of protein in it. And he was like, no, I haven't. And then I saw him about a month later, and he's like, bro, that shit slaps. And I'm like, I told you, like, it's a way to trick yourself into like getting more in of things you need that have like sustenance and nutritional value over just like, I'm gonna stop by Timmy's and grab a iced, Cap Supreme. Like, it's not gonna benefit you. You're just gonna drink sugar at that point.
Right. Wow. So you're gonna help these guys make better choices. You're gonna have to talk to ABZ about his freaking
I don't know, dude. ABC's been getting swole. I want to know what's in his coffee. Where are you buying it from, man?
So what was it? It was last year when the pandemic hit. Last year or the year before, I can't remember. But anyways,
dude, it was 2 now.
Yeah. So when everything is shut down and there were new shows, the guys and I are coming up with ideas on what to do to keep the shit going. You know what I mean? Because if we just stop making content, then we die, right?
Yeah.
We're dead in the water. So we had to. And our thing is interviews. But why are you going to interview guys if they don't have anything going on? Number one. Number two, Rage is for results. MI-Dub's for upcoming shows. There are no shows. What the fuck you going to do? So
yeah, you're putting a really weird spot.
Right. So we came up with different ideas, and we made it happen. But one of the things that came out of it was Indie Idol. I don't know. Have you seen this? Did you see this thing? Indie Idol.
No. In my defense, it's not that I don't watch the product. When COVID showed up is when I separated myself from wrestling to focus on bettering myself.
Right. Okay.
So it's like a lot of the people who came out of classes and like things that went on social media, I'm just like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
Like,
well, we did Indie Idol, and we had it was a indie wrestling promo contest. And it was 3 judges, and it was me, the Dread King Logan, and Ace Evans. And we had, I forget how many we started out with. I think we started out with 16 people. It went down to 15 or something like that. I can't remember. But in the end of it all, ABZ won the whole thing, and he was up against some very good. Him and Jeremiah Goldmain in the finals. And this kid.
I was like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This kid tore it up, and I've said since the beginning, since I've seen him, since the beginning, we're watching a star in the making.
Dude, AVZ is someone that I clicked with like since I met them, and like I'm all about like what's your shit, what's my shit, let's figure it out. And like I haven't had the opportunity to work with them yet, and I'd really love to. We've like an actual like we're working with each other, not just like Battle Royal or something. And I think what you brought up, like the PWAS anniversary show, like I had him like he blew the Starbucks cup over my head, and it was just the reaction was so good, and I'm just like, God, dude, like wrestling's so fun, and like you are so fun, and I've seen him maybe a year now, and just like my man's put on so much muscle, and it's just like, dude, like you have your brain where it needs to be, and it's like I'm happy to know him so I can see where he goes.
Right.
And like without dropping like other names,
right.
Rick and I were in the car this past weekend, and we were talking about people in general that we got to meet, because I know this show is a lot about Michigan, but Rick and I, we've been to a number of other states together, and we were just kind of bullshitting, and I'm like, dude, I'm so happy to see like these people that we watched like start when like, and we got to work with them when like no one gave a fuck to book them, and now they're in such a high demand in places because they've either been on TV or they are on TV, and they've just developed into such a great, not just entertainer, but person and talent in the whole. And like watching people grow is one of the things that I enjoy, not just in the profession, but in life.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so, when I was doing karate, I became an instructor. So I was instructing as well. And that's one of the things I did is I mentored younger and adults too. I mentored them and how to be instructors. And I really like what you're saying there. So I'm on your level right now when it comes to things like that, because like right now in my shoot job, you know what I'm saying? I am legit. Like I was a team lead and all these things, and I'm training people and I'm building a team and, you know, doing my best to keep these people positive and things like that.
Mhm.
And so I totally get what you're saying. So when I see somebody, you know, I know this is kind of jargon for a lot of people, but when I see someone that I've trained do a great job on a machine and do a great setup and the machine runs great, I feel good about myself, because even though it was their achievement, I feel good
Right.
about not only about them but myself as well, because I helped them achieve that goal. You know, it's those
Dude,
intrinsic awards that are the greatest.
definitely. Like, I mean, I'm no trainer by any means, but I'm definitely someone who has always been like, hey, my car's open if you want to go to a show with me.
Right.
And there has been a number of people who've taken that up with me. One of which he worked with Jack Price at the Past For Us show. And like that was the first time in a long time I was sitting in a crowd and I was popping for shit because like I was proud. I got to watch two dudes I know. I got to watch one dude that like came up to me once and he's like, "Hey man, is that open seat open?" And I'm like, "Yeah, always." And since then, him and I became, I'm talking about Corey Kerr. Him and I became like really great friends in life, and just like, I mean, we live like an hour and 20 minutes apart, and we still hang out with each other. And it's like watching him find who he is, and like I knew him when he didn't know anything about himself. Is like I did fuck all. I'm essentially just like Patrick Swayze and Ghost, and I'm just helping mold his ass. Like, don't do that. Kind of go that way. Listen to those people. Like, I'm just trying to keep him like towards a course of any type of success, whether whatever his view of success is. And like seeing him perform at that caliber and watching the crowd and stuff, like I was so proud of that moment, even though I had like 5% to do with it and the rest was someone else. It
Right.
was such a great feeling.
Right. Absolutely. That's amazing. I'm really enjoying the conversation we're having here, man. Like I feel like, you know, you're just a regular not that you're a regular dude, but you get what I'm saying?
I'm a dude who, no matter where we're at, if I'm in the ring or if I'm in the locker room or if I'm out in the crowd, like I'm a dude. I'll have a drink wherever I'm at pretty much. I'll 100% fuck you up, but I'll also sit there and chit chat with you. Like I sell hands at wholesale,
Right, all right.
but it's also like, we can sit there and shoot the shit. Like I know nothing about sports ball, but we can talk about some random stuff. Like,
right,
y'all want to talk about a fucking Saw movie? Let's talk about it.
right.
Like I'm such an open book.
That's amazing stuff. So you talked about collecting dead shit, you know, so
Yeah.
that would lead me to believe, and like you said, the Saw movie, that would lead me to believe you're a horror type person then?
Yes, I'm definitely a horror horror. I'm a horror. Saying horror fast makes it sound like you say you're a whore. Well, I mean, I'm a wrestler, so I guess I am, right? I get paid to fucking be naked. But yeah, I mean, I like, horror. I'm definitely more into like morbid things though. Like
Right.
when it comes to like dead animals or things about like death and things of that nature. Like a lot of the art we have on this wall, you can't really see. Like we have you can see like over here, but we have like, like a ram's head. We have a possum head. There's a lot of stuff that have to do with like tarot cards or things of that nature. Like there's a jackal skull and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. My son made a real brief appearance. He just wanted to throw in there. He just wanted a hug from Dad. So that's, you know how that goes. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that's amazing sauce. Like we all have that. Like, do you so a lot of people, you got your collections, right? And I'm a huge wrestling fan, right? And I'm more like the old school stuff, like the old Hasbro's, LJNs and stuff like.
Yeah.
Now you're a wrestler, so do
Yes.
you collect anything to do with wrestling?
Not really.
No. Okay. No,
No,
I find that to be a thing with wrestlers. Like they really don't collect that. Like some guys don't even, or some wrestlers don't even watch wrestling.
Right. I still have a lot of the wrestling stuff that I had growing up. Like I have my There's a picture somewhere on Facebook of me in it. I have the oh hello. This is I don't know if you can see him. This is Oliver. He's our big orange boy. He wanted to say hello.
Hi.
I I have like my WrestleMania 23 jersey that my mom got me because like my birthday was the same day as WrestleMania 23. So like she got me like the jersey that had like the last name on it and stuff. I have that. I have like my Royal Rumble ringside chair. I have figures from like when I watched growing up, but like stuff since then or like older, not really. I'm definitely very into like outside of the wrestling realm, like when it comes to like oddities or like pop culture, though that's more or less my niche of like collectibles.
Yeah. Did you ever get into those damn Funkos?
I did, and I have a lot of them.
See, I did too, and I got rid of them all. I was like, all right, it's getting too much. I got to be done.
I've definitely put a halt on buying them. I buy ones that are really cool. Like recently, my partner and I bought all of the McNuggets.
Okay.
Just because we're like, these are neat.
Right.
I have a lot of the Jurassic Park ones. Because there's like I'm a really big movie buff, so I do have a lot of movie stuff. One of my favorite gifts I got for Christmas was like I got the Jurassic. It's a copy, but I got like the script from the first Jurassic Park or like stuff like that. That's stuff that really intrigues me and stuff that I truly like. Because if wrestling didn't work out, I was looking at acting schools.
Well,
I
that's
was like, I want to be
awesome.
involved somewhere in the entertainment field.
Well, you're definitely in that field now.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I'm doing decent. I'm doing
Right.
decent at it.
Well, there's definitely a thing there, right? You know, with
Yeah.
people in the wrestling business going on to become actors. I mean, even like I know a guy here in the state that acts, you know, and now I think that's all he really, you know, besides being a trainer, not wrestling trainer, but like a personal trainer for fitness, you know, he's now acting as well. But you know, you look at these guys like Cena and The Rock and Hogan and, you know, a lot of guys, you know, Piper went off and did movies and things like that later on. You know, do you ever think I know there's a couple guys that like to write that are in wrestling, like they want to write scripts and stuff like that. Is that, and you know, you said you wanted to, is that something you would be, you know, maybe do?
Possibly. It's such a weird little niche for me because like I'm better at writing stories if I can just sit there and talk to someone and they can put it into some sort of like structured like statement. I'm a rambler. Hello. But I definitely like I have a decent memory, so like I've been able to like do like small like independent things to where it's like, all right, cool, I need to read this, I need to say this, awesome, and like we can go from there. Like one of my buddies is doing like a small indie film, and I'm like, well, if you need someone who can remember a couple lines and like do a stunt, like I got you.
Right.
I don't know, it could transition, it could not. I'm a very glass half full half empty person to where like I have these ideas and these ambitions, but I also don't want to like say, hey, these are going to happen, because when they don't, you're just going to disappoint yourself. So I'm very big as to like where the world can take me. But I'm open to the idea of it.
Absolutely. That's some good stuff, man. There's a lot of ways you could do, you know, a lot of different things you could do, you know, outside
You
of
can
wrestling.
do literally anything that you put time and actual care into.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, there was a time that I never thought I would do this, and I remember this whole thing starting on a fucking webcam with no mics and sounded like I was in a wind tunnel. I remember.
I had the Logitech microphone, just back before Logitech was even like a decent brand. It's like, yeah, I got this webcam for like $37 from Micro Center. Hopefully it's all right. Not Micro Center, Circuit City. That's where my joke was going.
There you go. But again, everybody, I want to remind you that Tony Garrix links to all of his social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that lovely stuff is down there, down in the description. You know, if you're listening to this later on, right now we're live, but eventually this will be a replay. but then it will also eventually be available on every podcasting platform known to man, pretty much. And down there as well, or in the description for that, you will find the links. Please, 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 please click those. Head over there, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is you got to do on those platforms, right? Also, down in the description, you will find a link to our Podbean. You'll find links to all of the Rasslin Rage MIW social media, man. Go down there, check it all out. You know what else you'll find down there? Happy Harper ice cream. If you go down there, you click the link, you go to Facebook. Now, I'm going to tell you, what's cool about this is if you're going to be at a wrestling show that Josh is going to be at, he will bring you ice cream. You just got to tell him what you want. If you don't tell him what you want, you got to go with what he has left. And that's not good, because when the cooler comes out at the end of a wrestling show, the ice cream goes quick. Very, very quick. Let me tell you, it's good shit. It's very good shit. So, Mr. Garrix.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you said you're doing a couple more podcasts. You want to shout them out? And or you want anything this weekend or next weekend?
I will say to check out my social media for those, because if I don't say the name right, I will beat myself up over it.
Okay, so we'll go there.
I know I'm on. I know I'm on a couple of different things coming up. I know the Edge, one of the Edge guys or something. They're doing the the pretty much positivity podcast.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name of it.
Dan, I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, that one I'm going to be on here soon. We're going to be talking about like my recovery from my weight, as also my drug issue. I'm doing a oddball podcast coming up where we're going to kind of talk about wrestling, but also do some kind of silly stuff along the way. I'm doing a podcast for a promotion that kind of runs in the Michiana area. Friday night, I'm on with Josh Morris. Yeah, I'm doing the most that I can in this weird world of wrestling in which we do, whether it's podcasts or shows or just showing up somewhere to help support. And I mean, that's really all like why I wanted to get on here is just give a little bit of an idea about me, but as well, more or less, just to like anybody listening, whether you're a wrestler or you're a fan, like do as much as you can to support the stuff in which you say you love. Like, don't be afraid to look vulnerable and like just help support, because like someone said this on a post of mine the other day and it really stuck with me. Like, you can buy one of the top guys on TV's T-shirts and they're not going to fucking know who you are. But if you buy something from one of us or you show up, like that extra body in the crowd or that extra sale means so much more to that person, and just help support something in which you state you love if you can, whether it's financially or not. Like we got all of our socials here. We got, Rasslin Rage, we got myself, just that like or that follow, that means something to us.
Absolutely.
But like I just stress, support wrestling in a whole, man.
Even just liking a flyer or a post, or you see like if Tony shares a show or you like it or you share it, that helps. Yeah. Even if you think it doesn't, it does. Because
there's a weird algorithm and you're already going to send your best friend or your significant other 47 TikToks today. It's not anything different. It costs nothing to just like or share something you see on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook to one of your friends as well. It's just another eye seeing this craft that you enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I feel like I learned a whole lot more about you than what I knew before. And
Good.
Now I feel like we're a little bit better friends. And that's the whole purpose of interviews. And this was what I like to call the get to know you interview, right? This is where everybody becomes buddies. And then eventually you go into the road, you come on multiple times, because everybody comes on all the time. And sometimes they come on when I don't even know when they're coming on and they just show up. It just happens. Okay. So, and there's always other things that can be done and guests things, because I have ideas all the time and my head explodes and I got to write shit down. It's really weird, but it is what it is. Again, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody out there for joining us. And if you haven't, please smash the thumbs up. That, like we talked about before, that's stuff that helps, right? Share this on your social media, all that wonderful stuff. I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Can I have the floor for like 30 seconds?
Sure, take it.
Awesome. So like, if you want to like just support and see me, I got a couple things coming up here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm taking this weekend off. I am not going to be wrestling nobody. But the following weekend I will be at, I believe it is HCW. They are not in Michigan, but they are in the Michiana area. Then that next day I have some stuff possibly going on. The week following I am at Pro Wrestling All Stars and I am at Imperial Wrestling Entertainment. All of their socials and flyers and all of those things are able to be seen on my site, my social medias. I also do have that Captain's Beard Oil and that Sailor Swill. I also just got fresh T-shirts. So if you want something, I do ship. If not, come see me at a show and we can take care of you.
Ooh, so he ships. Not a lot of people do that, so check that out. So
I am willing to go that extra mile. If you are listening to this in the UK, you are covering all of those shipping costs, but it can get to you.
Well, I mean, hey, you do it. That's all that matters. So there you go. He ships. So I would say, they'd have to message you on, say, Facebook?
Yeah, just DM me Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If we become really cool friends, I might, give you my Snapchat. Other than that, man, yeah, if you want to chit chat, hit me up. Don't blow me up though. And if you send me one of those stupid, send me your hashtag things, I will block you instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't ask me for a video telling your kid happy birthday because I'm about tired of that guy too.
Hey, at the end of the day, wrestling's a carny business. And I mean, I'll do that, but we're going to do some carny stuff to get that done.
Right. Well, I get what you're. Yeah, but so there was this dude. I don't know who it was. They would message everybody, and they would ask them to do a video singing "Happy Birthday," and then sometimes and every time they would come up with a new account and do it again and message.
Was it for Dante? Was it Dante's birthday? Is that what it was for?
Something. And then it was his aunt's birthday. Then it was somebody else's birthday, and I really think this was just some weird motherfucker doing some weird shit to some videos, dude. So
probably,
yeah, for sure. So, but anyways, enough about that. Thank you, everybody. I will be back here tomorrow night, same time, same YouTube channel, just a different guest. I will be joined by Chuck Stein. That's right, the dirty white boy. Then next week, we're back. We won't be back for Rasslin Rage on Sunday because it's Super Bowl. We'll be back on Tuesday with results, right, from IPW, and I can't remember who's the other one right now. Capital Pro Wrestling. And then also we'll have the shows coming up, but then I have 2 interviews next week, one with Mark Ross, and then one with Jonte Keith, who is the FU champion. Just defeated DBA. So good stuff. All right, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we will see you back here tomorrow with Chuck Stein. Adios.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.